Hey guys, it's D-Murph, and today we're going to do a review of the Delonghi EC 702 Manual Espresso Machine. So I really like the 702. I think it's a pretty awesome espresso machine. This is the stainless steel one. It has some great features. It's pretty easy to use. The one issue I have with this machine is it's not very easy to pour a perfect espresso shot. It actually took me quite some time to figure it out, and compared to my older espresso machine, I had a Mr. Coffee. That sucker would pour you a perfect espresso shot no problem. The issue is that this one gets caught up on the finer grind, and so you have to be a little more sensitive with it. And I think the reason behind that, this has a 15 bar pump, same as my old one, but to get a really great shot of espresso, I read this article that said the pressure needs to drop to around 9 bar. And so I think this one actually makes an amazing shot of espresso and drops that pressure. The problem is if it's not done right, it'll take way too long. So I'm going to talk about the features of the machine so you get a general overview. Then we're going to pour the perfect shot of espresso, or a very close to perfect shot of espresso with the machine. And then I'll close with how to make a vanilla latte. So getting into some of the features, this is a manual espresso machine. So that means you have to tamp the espresso, put it in there, drop the shot, and then you're good to go there. And steaming wise, it's manual as well. That means that you have to get the milk, put it in the frother, it'll steam, then you have to turn it off, you're good to go. So one great feature about this machine is it has 2 thermometers for dropping your shot and also for steaming. That means you have pretty effortless switching in between whenever you're dropping your shot and steaming your milk. And that's amazing because you can make a drink pretty quickly with that. It has a warmer on top that turns on as soon as you turn on the machine. And I don't really use this, and they say leave your cups here for 15 minutes, but that just helps with the flavor. Then it's completely encased, so your drip tray down here, this, you won't have any water or steam coming out of the machine. Some espresso machines actually will spit out steam and water down below, and it kind of makes a mess, so it's fairly contained. You're only getting water here from there, which is actually very easy with cleanup. It has a tamp right here on the side, and that is awesome because you don't have to go out and buy a tamp. I'm a sucker. I love having my own tamp. I love really getting into the coffee experience, so I went out and bought one from Delonghi. I will put a link for that on the bottom. Really cool blue handle, right? And as you're seeing right here, it does ESE pods, which ESE pods are small little pods of espresso for single shot. Right here, I'm gonna show you guys how to make one of those. For steaming, it has a little hand crank lever right here on the side, and then it has this steaming wand, which is like fantastic for cappuccinos. And if I pull it out, you'll see this is really what steaming wands normally are like, and that gives you a lot of variety to make your own drinks. This one, you're basically stuck with using a cappuccino steaming wand, which is very convenient. And then also if you heat up your milk before you steam it a little bit, like I do, it'll be more like a latte. So this right here, honestly, is probably the only big weakness I would say about the machine that I noticed is you don't have that variety to make all kinds of different steamed milk. So the water reservoirs in the back carries quite a bit of water. Let me pull this out of the way so you can see. And it has this nice little area where you can see it in the front of the machine, which is very convenient. And this little yellow ball will move up and down with the water level. So you don't have to look at the side. You can look directly at the machine. Just a nice convenient feature. And then just overall, it has a nice presence on your countertop. And unfortunately, this is kind of a nice big presence on your countertop. It's a little bit of a larger machine, takes up a little more space. But personally, that's what I like. That's what my old machine was like, and I wanted something similar, and that's why the 702 caught my eye. So we'll start this demo out with making the ESE pod. It has a single serving, which I almost never use. I'm always dropping 2 servings of espresso, but the single serve is what you want for your ESE pod. And right here, guys, you might be happy to hear it. I've switched from Starbucks to Illy. Now I use Illy all the time. A little more expensive, but super delicious. And an awesome thing about ESE pods is it'll have this mark right here. So you can see on the machine, see on the box, okay, that works. Because there are other espresso pods that won't work. They come in these little packets. You just tear it open. I'm gonna turn on the machine first so it can prime. And that was one feature that I forgot to mention. This is a self-priming, so as soon as you turn it on, basically it gets the espresso ready and the steam is not too far behind. You just have to hit the button and wait a few seconds for the steam. So it's priming the steam as well. Some machines you actually have to change to espresso or change to steam, then it primes, then you're good to go. So that's a nice feature. So you just take out your little ESC pod. This is what they look like. Just a tightly made packet of coffee with the casing around it. You get your single shot, push down into the middle, like so. And then they say fold it in, have the Illy or the brand facing up, and just push it in a little bit. And that's pretty much ready. So I'm gonna take this off. This right here, that's what you really want, 2 ounces. So the portafilter is a double wall portafilter, and they say that helps with the crema. So we'll just take that out, double, and then put the single in. There we go. And this is pretty much ready. This is what I like about ESCs. I don't use them very often. It's only 1 shot, but it's super convenient if you want a shot of espresso in the morning and you're running late. So you just push it in and crank it a little bit. And so now that I've turned it on, it's priming. This is starting to heat up. So if you really do want to have a cup on there or something, you can put that there. And as soon as this light turns green, it's ready to go. Look at that. Talk about perfect timing. So we'll slip this under here. Since it's a single shot, you want this to go for about 1 ounce. So a perfect shot of espresso is in between 20 to 30 seconds. I like mine in the 20-25 range, but as long as you're getting in between that, you'll have a pretty nice shot of espresso. So let's go ahead and do this ESC pod, and we're gonna time all our shots today. So that one, that's about 1 ounce at, I'd say about 17 seconds. So not too bad, you know, a little quick. But voila, there you go, super easy espresso. And for cleanup, you just pull that little tab and out comes the pod. Okay guys, now it's time to get into it. I really like your custom shots. So there you go, 2 shots of espresso. And we'll move this over here now. What I will warn you about, and straight up warn you about, is on the manual, it says that you want to do 2 level scoops of loose espresso, tamp it in, and it's good to go. And I can tell you, depending on what kind of espresso you use, these are 2 easy store-bought ones, Illy and Lavazza. You're gonna have a different story. So what I found with Illy, we'll start out with Illy first. And Illy runs a little long because theirs is so finely ground. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera there, but theirs is really finely ground. So what I do is I get 1 loose scoop of Illy, right? Put that on there. And then next, no, I don't get 2 loose scoops. I go a little bit less, right? Maybe that's 4/5, somewhere roughly around there. You could even do a little less. Okay, so see, something like that. And that's all I put in for Illy. And you'll see why in just a second. So we'll clean the top. Tamping wise, really? You barely tamp with an Illy? I literally can set this right here and let the weight tamp it. I got a little on the side, we'll get that in. If I tamp it any harder, it's not gonna come out. Pretty crazy, right? So then, now your shot is ready. Put it up here. We're going for 2 ounces for a double shot. Put that right there, and we'll time it. Okay, our green light is on, so we'll go ahead and start. And we start the timer when the first espresso drops down. And we've hit just a little bit over 2 ounces, exactly 20 seconds. So you guys saw that very loose espresso, didn't put a whole lot in there. I did about a scoop and then a scoop and 4/5, and that gives you a nice 20-second shot. So a little more, it'll go a little bit longer. Tamp it a little more, it'll go a little bit longer. But this is the issue with this machine, and where you might have some concerns, is that it can be very difficult to pour a good shot because you do it what it says and it just drips out and takes 40 seconds to make. Then to remove, just grab, twist, try it a few times, and a cool little feature for their portafilter holder is bam. That'll hold it in place. You can knock it into a little bucket, into the trash, wherever you're tossing it. Alright guys, so next is Lavazza. This is a fairly nice coffee that works well with this machine, and actually what I first used to get my first good shot. And with Lavazza, you don't have to be too worried about how loose your espresso is. You'll be shocked to see how much I put in here, and trust me, it's okay. There's 2. Here, hang on, I gotta kind of knock that down a little bit. Now with Lavazza, whenever I'm making a shot of espresso with this, it does get a little messy because you have to put in more than 2 level scoops because the grind is a little more coarse, which this is where I would say the difficulty of this machine comes in, is just finding the right grind, the right type of coffee, because it won't work if you don't, right? And then you'll see like on this one, it's so full, and then I can tamp it down pretty well, like pretty hard, and it won't make it pour too slow. And this isn't like a really coarse espresso grind. This is actually pretty fine. So don't despair if you just bought this machine and you're not getting a good shot. It took me a little while to find the right technique. There you go. So very well tamped, 2.5 scoops. There we go. And quite the mess. There we go. So just drop it on there and we're good to go. The light is green, so let's drop this shot. Going for 2 ounces. Okay, so you see that we are at 18.25 seconds, and that was roughly when it hit 2 ounces. So not a terrible shot, but so much work, so much effort, you know, tamping and packing, and you get an 18-second shot. So I just wanted to say, if you're wondering like why I'm talking about the shot and the timing and everything, why I'm really making a point on that. So I've seen several review videos for this espresso machine by like pretty reputable espresso barista coffee shop owners, right? And they would put the grind in there, they loaded it up, and it just dripped and took forever. And they're like, well, not that great, right? Which, okay, yeah, based on what the manual tells you of 2 level scoops and go, no, not that great. But if you play with it a little bit, it actually is an awesome machine. All right, guys, now it's time to show you the magic. We're gonna make a tasty, delicious vanilla latte. So first, we have the Illy loaded up over there. The machine is prepped and primed and ready. So I do about 1 teaspoon of sugar. We got all our flavors, 1 heaping teaspoon of sugar. Just a little bit of, this is vanilla flavor. They also have vanilla extract. Vanilla flavor is definitely more affordable. Now we want the espresso in the cup before we add the milk. So even though I have the espresso loaded up, I'm not gonna drop the shot yet. We're gonna prime it for steam. So you just hit the steam button over here and see that that's gone black, or the light's gone out. So now we just wait till it turns green, and then that means it's ready to be steamed. And this milk, I heated up in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And since this is a cappuccino maker, if you do it cold like they recommend, you're gonna get a ton of froth. So you heat it up a little bit, it lowers your time that it takes to froth it, and then also you get a little less froth. I have a little thermometer. I go for about 160 degrees. Okay, the light's gone on, so this is ready. You just get your milk underneath and work your way. There we go. The tip is touching the milk, and then you just crank this, and out comes the steam. And just keep the wand at the very tip of the milk, and you'll get a good froth. All right. That is the cool part about this machine, that even though you can't get too custom, it does make some really easy froth. We are at 160 degrees, a little bit over. You just want to take a quick wipe of this. Now that that's ready, we just drop our shot and add it to the mixture we got going on. All right, there we go. And you want to drop this shot in there and mix it up pretty quick, because if the whole shot turns black, then you lose some of the sweetness and flavor. So we drop that in there, give it a stir. Since we're working with loose sugar, kind of stir it up so that dissolves a little bit. Then pour the milk. You gotta do this fast and finish with foam. Oh yeah, look at that foam. That is one thing to like about it. Like I said, that little wand there makes some pretty awesome foam. It gives you definitely enough. Top off with a little bit of cinnamon. And voila, check that out. An amazing, tasty, delicious latte. Enjoy. Well guys, I hope you liked the video. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the machine and the process, comment down below. Subscribe to this channel for more great coffee and food videos. I do food videos as well. And I'm including links to the espresso I use down below for Illy because that's amazing on Amazon, a great deal. I'll also include a link to this machine. Runs about $220. I got it for $170 on a Black Friday deal, so a little bit pricey. If you want to wait till Black Friday or shop somewhere else besides Amazon, I don't blame you. Thank you so much for the view. Have a great day. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this tasty latte.